Hi, everybody. We're back today with another episode of Howie's Hometown Heroes, where we feature business owners, entrepreneurs, and community members who are doing extraordinary, awesome things in their community. Today, we're in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We're here with Jordon Harris. Jordon isn't from West Virginia. He's from Linstead, Jamaica. This is a not a long story. This is a great story of somebody coming from somewhere else, coming to the U.S. and doing great while he's here. This is great. So let me tell you a little about Jordon. He started Skyward Staffing about 6 months ago, and he's doing great, helping people get jobs, all kinds of stuff. We'll get into all that kind of detail. But he started the business not to make money. Well, he wants to make money, duh, right? But the background is really to help other people. That's a great way, a great motivation for everybody, right? The more people you help, the better off everybody is, right? And he started the business not that long ago, but he's already helping other people to start their business. There's a way to give back right away. I mean, that's awesome the way he does that. And he's really grateful for all the support that he's had so far. We're looking forward to lots more, that's for sure. So welcome to the show, Jordon. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me, Howard.
Yeah. So tell me a fun fact, something crazy that we wouldn't know.
All right, fun fact. First one, let's go with the first one. The first one is I love anime. I'm a big anime fan.
Oh,
A lot of people, my close friends know that, but one that is very secretive that not many people know about
okay.
me.
I won't tell anybody.
I always wanted, when I was younger, my goal, my dream was to be a watchmaker. I wanted to make watches,
Okay.
right? Because I love watches. So
Do you
that
have like
was
a whole collection of watches and stuff?
I do actually.
Yeah.
I do have a good collection of
Right.
watches.
But the question, okay. Do you have an iWatch?
I do not. I dislike them. I dislike them. I do not like digital watches at all. I
Old
think it
school.
takes away from the craft in
Yeah.
watchmaking. So
Yeah. I always thought it was fascinating. It was tiny little pieces that got to go together just right.
it's
I
a
mean,
lot.
how somebody figured that out, like not decades, like hundreds of years ago, people figured that out. Crazy.
Some watches take even a year just to make one,
Wow.
some are very complicated, some are very limited.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless in
I
a watch.
bet. I bet. Well,
Yeah.
that's kind of fun. That's kind of a fun fact I didn't know about. So very cool. Very cool. So tell us about Skyward Staffing. How did you start that? How'd that kind of come about?
All right, so I'm gonna bring you back to when it was just an idea. So Skyward Staffing Agency started out with me seeing that there was a need. Of course, there's a need. I have some friends, so let me tell you a little about me. I'm from Lindsay, Jamaica. I came to the United States 7 years ago,
Mhm.
and as much as I've seen success throughout my career, my counterparts that I've left in Jamaica have not been that
Oh.
lucky. So during COVID, they've had it's been very hard for them to, get jobs and, make something of
Mhm.
their lives and stuff like that. I realized that there are lawyers. I have friends who are lawyers, doctors, and they're still not being compensated for the knowledge that
Really?
they have. I have
Mm.
friends that are overqualified and they're, working at supermarkets, packing bags, pushing out carts,
Are they
you
still
know.
in Jamaica or are they here?
Yes, they're still in Jamaica.
Okay. Okay.
So it constantly I communicate with my friends back home, and then it came to me like, how could I help, people, not just my
Hmm.
friends, but people back home have the opportunity I was blessed with when I came to the United States. How
Nice.
could I extend that, opportunity to them? So I ran through many different business ideas, and I came across staffing agency, and I was like, okay, this one seems more towards the idea of
Mhm.
getting there at the shortest time possible,
Okay.
right? I wouldn't have to build some empire and try to hire out to different countries like Jamaica. I could just go to companies that are already empires and say, hey, are you willing to extend your search to different countries?
Mm,
So that's where the idea of Skyward Staffing Agency came from. It was just my urge to try and give qualified candidates
cool.
back home an opportunity like I've been given.
Nice, nice. So you've been there 6 months, and
Mm.
so that, I mean, sounds like a great idea, helping people back home to come here and get employed and live a better life than they have in Jamaica.
Yep.
What? So now you started like whenever today, and a month from then, okay, what happened? The
Yeah, so
good news, bad news,
yeah,
like what?
that,
What?
that was the idea. I have some friends that are currently in HR, very, very they're very, I guess you can call them a veteran in the space. They
Sure.
have the
Okay.
knowledge, they have the years in the space. And, I went to them and asked them, hey, what would it take, to get this up and going? A lot of people said, hey, it was not possible.
Oh,
It takes a lot of capital. It's a lot of red tape,
yeah.
right? And as my mentor now, Angela would say, the only thing you need for red tape is a big scissors.
She's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I was never the person to not give something a shot. I've failed many times, and I do believe I'll fail in the future to come, but I enjoy failing. So, I did my market research and I realized I could do it, and took some months because I had to acquire the capital. I had to give, my wherever I was going to get the funding, the idea, and
Mhm.
see if they would go with it. Um, they did, some didn't, I got turned
Okay.
away, but that was part of the business. And, just like any entrepreneur, you want to start off big, but then I got humbled real quick. I could not start off big, I had to start off, I got to crawl before I walk, as my
Yeah,
mom
yeah, yeah, yeah,
said.
yeah.
So, that's where I started. A month after the idea came, I started the name. I was looking for a name.
Oh,
Yeah, so how Skyward came, I was looking for a name. A lot has happened in my life being an immigrant from Jamaica. You know, it's not easy, the culture shock coming over here. So I've been through my fair share of, beat downs.
mhm.
So I wanted something that could resonate with not just with my story, but with other people's story. And I wanted like Phoenix, something that could
Okay.
show you will rise to the
Sure,
occasion,
sure.
or if you fell down, always get back up.
Yeah.
And the name Phoenix was already taken. So I was looking at, words that were similar to Phoenix and Skyward. I was writing it out, cross it. I had at least 100 different names, and I kept, nah, that's not the one. And then Skyward was there. I was like,
Ooh,
this is the one.
ooh.
This is the one. And then I went with that.
Crazy how that comes about.
I'm telling you, it just
Eh,
resonated with me.
all of a sudden you
Like,
get that thing.
this is
Yeah,
it.
that's great. And it's a great name, great word that
Thank
really
you.
pictures and gets the feeling of what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And then we went with that. I created the business, structured it so that legally
Mhm.
tax liabilities, everything
All
like
that
that.
stuff.
I wanted to go the cheap route, but as I'll tell any entrepreneur who's starting off, do it right the first time so you don't have to do it again.
Do it
Believe
again.
me.
There you go.
Exactly. Just do it right once. Just do it.
That's
And I did it. It was quite expensive, but you know, I believe if you're doing anything that will benefit people's lives, you should, no matter what, you should do it. That's
good.
that's what my mom always told me. If you think it's gonna help people, it doesn't matter what it might cost, do it. So, I had to sacrifice my time and effort, my cash, and I started up. And I've had my fair share starting off, because I'm new. A lot of people walk over you.
Sure,
I
sure.
realized that legally, the first roadblock um, I had some companies come. I was cold emailing. That's how I started off to get to CEOs and COOs.
Yeah,
You have to develop a strategy. I started off
sure.
recruiting was first. So I started off recruiting, getting different companies' emails, trying to get to the decision makers, hey, I saw that you're doing this, you're trying to fill this position, we can do that for you, yada, yada,
Yeah,
yada.
yeah, yeah.
And, it didn't work out how it will. I mean, it's just
Sure.
hard to get to these decision makers. Like
Sure.
that's how it's set up. Like they are busy, they have
Sure.
certain hours in their day. So they don't have time for people just coming off the street and just, trying to pitch them an idea or pitch them for business. So, I had to be creative, I had to utilize connections.
Mhm.
Connections are very important in the
Absolutely.
world of business, who they say your net worth is your net
It
worth.
worked. That's right. That's
So
right.
um, I learned that real quick, and legally, the paperwork needed to complete these business um contracts. They were taking too long. I commissioned someone to do it, and they are a friend, but they constantly were just putting me off, like, "Oh, I'm
Mm,
busy," and I realized that, in business you have to be firm, don't let people
yeah,
walk
make
over,
commitments. Yeah.
especially since you're young. People really think because you're young that you don't know what you're doing and you can wait.
Mhm.
I'm here to tell anyone who's starting off, don't wait. Be that same person you were when you started, eager to learn, eager to start.
Yep.
Don't waste time. Time is valuable.
Sure. Sure.
So, I mean, I've had to, cut a lot of business connections off because, those people don't value your time. But, eventually I worked my way up in the recruiting world. I added some friends for help because once again, one person is not enough. You need a team. A team is very valuable. I learned that quick also.
Yeah.
And, in my area, Martinsburg, West Virginia, I realized that temporary workers. That's a lot of companies are moving to West Virginia. Um, I guess it's better in tax. I'm not sure how
Hmm.
corporate wise, but a lot of warehouses are coming here. A lot of
Okay.
manufacturers, and they're needing temporary
Temporary
workers. Now,
workers.
I know that, but once again, it's a lot of red tape to acquire these temporary workers. But once again, I have a mentor. She is amazing. Angela, she told me you can do this, Jordan. And I researched day in, day out, constantly. Google, 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 a drive to help and just be able to have this business that is so massive that I can help people, not just in my country, but in different parts of the world,
Well, yeah.
just communicate and connect employers with job seekers. It just drove me. So day in, day out, I researched and I found a way to acquire temporary staffing. So now Skyward Staffing Agency not only does recruiting and direct placement, but
Uh-huh.
we now offer the service of temp to hire and temporary employees
Uh-huh.
in the state of West Virginia.
There you go. Awesome. Very good.
Yeah, that was very big for us. That
Very
we
good.
just rolled that out this week. So
This week.
that was
Oh man,
this week.
that's
That
great.
yeah, it was pretty
There you
massive.
go.
Yep, it was a big thing for us. So
So
we're
we
on
can't
it right
just.
now.
So that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. Clearly, I don't know anything about this, but you have to do. It's more than just, hey, I'm a company and this is what I do. You got to do
Mhm.
other stuff
Yeah,
because you're a staffing agency.
yeah,
Other stuff
yeah,
has to be in place.
yes.
Oh,
Because if you're considered a staffing agency, I believe you need recruiting is recruiting is enough. Don't get me wrong, it's enough. But there is a part of me that in my state, how I am, I would like to be active in my community also.
oh, okay, sure,
And to be active in your community, you have to not just help your different companies all over the nation,
sure.
but your nation, your backyard.
Hmm.
And West Virginia is my backyard, and I'm seeing what these companies are asking for, and it would just be stupid to see what they want and not try and supply it,
I like
you
it.
know?
That's the way every
Is
business should be, right? Yeah.
because you're helping not only the companies, but people who need a second chance,
So, sure, sure.
people who need a paycheck, they might not get in through the regular traditional means of applying for a job. I can give them the opportunity to still get a paycheck, to still go home, still feed their families,
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
their
yeah.
bills, and it comes back in the economy.
Oh man,
I
that's for
think
sure. So
I
when you
think
say,
that
yes, let me ask you, so when you say recruiting,
mhm.
when I hear recruiting, I'm thinking of taking a person, recruiting a person to do something, but you're also
Mhm.
recruiting the companies to do something too, right? You're recruiting the
So
companies to have you on board with them.
all right, so recruiting how the recruiting works is we go out and we show our value to these companies that a lot of them have recruiting internally.
Okay.
They have their recruiters and their HR, they do the recruiting, but because it's done internally, they don't have the network and the means that we have. They're
Ah,
often limited to how they reached out, or the means of communication is often limited if
okay.
they're doing it internally. I might know someone from California who's working at Facebook, and they just laid off their engineers,
Yeah.
and they need jobs. They're not gonna, unless you reach out to them, they're not gonna, know that, hey, there's somewhere in West Virginia that needs, engineers, and they're willing to
Cool.
negotiate their terms,
Oh,
you
interesting.
know. And most of these companies are the positions that are hard to fill. Not they're hard to fill because the right candidate for them are not actively looking for a job. They're not hunting,
Okay.
looking, "Hey, I need," "I'm looking for it." They're not actively looking. So we call these guys these job seekers, passive job seekers. They're not actively looking, so they're
Okay.
not on it. Indeed,
They're
you need
not on
someone to
anybody's
reach
radar
out.
to reach out to.
Yeah, you need someone to reach out to them and be like, "Hey, I know you're making this at this, and this company is looking to offer you this. Will you
At
be
least
able
have
to?" Yeah.
have
So
a conversation. Wow, that's pretty
yeah,
good.
just to
What?
get you in the door.
Okay, so let's go. So where's the Jamaica part come in? How do you bring those people here?
So that's the thing. So all right, currently there are a couple, well, not a couple. There's a lot of companies that are able to get their professionals on sponsorship visas. These are work visas. You know, for instance, I work with a company right now, and our engineers are from India, Ukraine,
Wow.
Portugal, and I believe we recently got someone from Brazil. I'm not sure. I
Uh-huh.
believe we did get one from Brazil. So this company acquires these visas on a lottery. I believe this is how it works. I'm not sure on the legal
Okay.
immigration side, but companies do acquire these through a lottery system, I believe.
Okay.
And if I'm able to work with these companies that are able to issue these visas to these professionals, then I might be able to speed up the process of helping,
Ah.
people back home or in different countries, like if, for instance, Howard's company, they need 10 surgeons, neurosurgeons, and I'm guessing neurosurgeons are highly skilled individuals. You're
I
gonna
would
have
hope so, right?
you're gonna have to pay them a good penny. I could be like, hey, you are you only limited to hiring in just the United States? Are
That's
you
it.
willing to? We have two neurosurgeons in Jamaica who are looking for jobs. Are you willing to extend that job opportunity to not
Yeah.
just the United States, but to Jamaica, the
Okay.
Caribbean,
Yeah.
or maybe wider? You could probably pay them even less, save you some money, and you never know, you might actually get someone who is so talented, so skilled, like you might make history with this person. You never
Yeah,
know.
you never know. Okay.
So, that is the goal. That's where we would like to work our
That's
way
it.
up.
It's
You know.
interesting, interesting connections that you put all those pieces together. Each person, so you got the person who's working wherever they're working,
Mhm,
or not working for that matter.
mhm.
Um, and then you got the company over here, and a whole bunch of pieces in the middle kind of have to come together to make that connection. Otherwise, it would never happen. And
Never will happen.
really where you fit in. And these other companies with the visas, that's like another little piece to
Mhm.
tie it all together. Wow, that is awesome.
Matchmakers for companies.
Matchmaker. There you go, the
Match-
matchmakers.
Yep.
Matchmaker. So do you have some success stories? Do you have any couple people or anybody that you've actually
So
traveled through that?
recently we recruited a engineer. He was a mechanical engineer. He was working away from home. I believe it was 2 states away from his family.
Okay.
He reached out to me, and it was kind of hard finding him that job that he currently has, but they recently have had a kid 2 years ago. So it was kind of the traveling
Hmm.
being was pretty tough for
That's
him.
a,
He had to stay at a
sure.
hotel when on his shift days and then drive back down to his family.
Sure.
So we recently found him something that was close with one of our
Oh,
partners. A space opened up, and it was really qualified,
wow,
and
that's
it's been
great.
like, I want to say it's been a month, and he's loving it so far.
There you
So,
go. There you go.
you
So
know,
you get, so you're in that. So there's a great success story that
mhm.
you help people out, and it's almost, I don't want to say, is it like one at a time, or can you recruit like 10 people from somewhere and you
I
get
can't. So it depends on the order. I mean, I would love to have an order where someone's like,
10
I need.
neurosurgeons, yeah, or whatever.
What, that's the goal though. We're working
Okay,
there,
cool.
but there's no limit to how much people that we can fill for a company. If a company needs us to fill 50, we're gonna do our best
Yeah,
to
yeah, sure.
those 50, and we're gonna stand by it. So for instance, if a company needs 50 and say 20 leaves in the first 30 days, we're gonna stand by and
Okay,
replace those
you'll
20.
make it happen.
Yes, we'll
Yeah,
make it happen.
make
We
it.
stand by and do our work.
That's
Definitely.
that's a great way to look at it, because the more the we always talk about the more people you help, the more you get helped, and
Yep,
the more that good comes back to you.
that is
But
true.
you're helping it from both ends: the person, the worker, whoever he or she's working, and the company that needs those workers. So you're helping it from both ends, and and that really, like, it becomes a critical mass of
Yes,
goodness out there that
yes.
and you're the center of that. That is an awesome way to do it. Very
It
good.
is. It really gets me out of bed in the mornings.
Yeah.
I used to be I used to be that person who, I gun ho, you got my first jobs, just doing everything. I can say I'm a very hard worker,
Yeah,
but
sure.
until I got something where I know in my heart that I'm actually helping people,
Yeah.
it's a different feeling, Howard. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I want to get out of bed every morning. I know my mom is speaking very highly of me with their friends. It's just such an uplifting
Yeah, really.
feeling that knowing if as I grow, I'll be able to not just help people in my backyard. I'll be able to help just people all over the world.
Right. So you're,
That that is touching for me
yeah,
because
sure, sure.
I was one of those persons who did not have an opportunity.
Right. And
Yeah,
you made it happen for you.
I
And
made it
it happened.
happen. Yep,
There you go.
yep.
There you go.
Sometimes people just need help.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it doesn't take a lot of help sometimes, just
Nope.
to kind of get over that, to go over that hump. That's really cool. Very good. So now, where do you see yourself going in the next 3, 5, 10 years? I mean, geez,
In the next 3, 10 years. So 3-year goal would be to have Skyward Staffing in 3 different states.
okay.
Right? 3 different states, offices, of course. Um, that's a 3-year goal. We do have revenue goals, that we'd like to hit also, but the 5-year goal is to have partners in different states with universities and,
Ah,
different vocational schools, so we can, you know, give back to our employees, add to
sure.
their skill sets, people who did not have the opportunity to go to college or, you know, just need a second chance.
Hmm.
They won't just go in and just make base pay. They'll be able to add to their skill sets and, go in and ask for more. They'll be able to add more value to the companies that they go into. These are our temporary workers,
Yeah.
whether it's Excel classes, whether it's forklift license,
Ah,
whether it's anything that we can partner with a college to, Skyward pays for half or 20% and the temporary employee foots the
pay
rest.
some more or something.
But we like to give back to the community because once again, this community has given me a lot, so
That's
that's the
great.
goal. 5-year
That-
goal is to be partnered with colleges or
Colleges and helping those people and
yep,
trade schools, you said. I think that's really important. You hear all the
yep.
time that there's not enough plumbers and they make 150,000 a year. I mean, I
I'm
yeah.
always wondering how no one is
Why does anybody
going.
want to do that? Right.
It's
I always
amazing.
thought that when if I was, I don't remember when I thought this. Well, it couldn't have been that long ago.
Mhm.
Um, I'll say maybe I'm going to guess like 10, 15 years ago or something, maybe even a little longer. Um, I thought the coolest job would be, and I was way too old for it to do it then, a way cool would be a windmill mechanic. The guy who go up on the windmills and make them work. I mean,
Huh.
I mean, I like doing stuff with my hands too. And so it's kind of a trade, kind of technical, kind of stuff. You're outside, as long as it's not raining, whatever. But I thought that would be kind of a cool job to get
That
to.
would be a
So,
cool job. And also, that was my 3-year, my 5-year. I'm gonna give you my 1-year goal.
oh,
I'm
awesome.
gonna give you my
So,
one
okay,
year
we
goal.
got 6 months to go. All right.
Yes, my 1-year goal is to partner with you
Ah,
actually
ah,
for financial literacy. I would like to have some kind of class or maybe some kind of information
sure.
system or
Yeah.
map that these temporary workers, once again, who are not able to understand money. Financial literacy is not taught in school,
That's for sure. I say that all the
like
time. Yeah.
it's surprisingly
Yeah.
it's surprisingly scary
Yeah.
because I did not learn it when I came from school, when I
Yeah.
was in school, and we need it. We use it every day,
Every day. That's right.
somehow it wasn't taught. So if I could educate people, people who did not have the opportunity to go
Hmm.
to college and stuff like that, just give them something every
Sure.
month, just some, whether it is flyers or a class or some 1 hours with Howie,
Yeah, we can do all kind of
that
stuff
would
together.
be that would be amazing.
It would be an honor for me to kind of do that with your people.
Thank
I mean,
you.
that's a
Thank
great thing
you.
to do. So
Yeah.
there we go. We're all helping people everywhere in any way we can. I mean, I think
That's how we do it.
that's a great way to look at it. So that's a great way kind of to wrap up. So just for everybody out there, we want to make sure you contact Jordan. Skyward Staffing links will be in the comments below. So just
Definitely.
if you know someone who's as cool as Jordan and who we should have on the show, contact me, put their name in the comments below, and we'll get going. So just whether it's your community, your family, your business, whatever's going on, it's money that makes those gears turn around. So make sure your money is working in the most efficient way that it can. Thanks for being on the show, Jordan.
Anytime, Howard. I
So,
really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
yeah.